Hey guys, how are you?
Good, man. How are
Not too
you?
bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Great to meet both of you. I'm a huge fan of your work. So I wanted to get started with since you had first off, I read your job descriptions. One says stunt coordinator, one says supervising coordinator. So how do you sort of divvy up your responsibilities on a film like Ballerina?
I think. Well, I think for and don't let me speak for you, Steve, but I think for this, we just knew what our like our benefits were. Steve's great with explosions and cars and going with that stuff. I come from a fight background, and I kind of like he did that, and I think
Mhm.
Steve, tell me if I'm wrong. That it's kind of like where we knew what
Yeah,
each other's strengths were, and kind of just
yeah.
let each other like
Mod
ride with it.
yeah. Modern filmmaking's evolved so much where, like, as a stunt coordinator, I would love to be, in with the stunt team, just devising stunts all day and doing that. There's so
Mhm.
many location scouts, there's so many meetings, there's so many script changes, there's so much talk about having to develop a script with that. So like a lot of what my job is like is going to these scouts and everything, relaying information, working out like who needs to be where and doing all those kind of things. And then, liaising with special effects with explosions and everything like that. And while I can have like Jackson has got the script working with the fight team and everything like that,
Mhm.
developing what the look of like the fights are and things like that. And then I come in with notes and we
Mhm.
previs things and even look at previs and things like that. It's so there's so much going on. The longer we do this, the less
It's such
time
a
they give
wide
us and the more they
wide
want. Yeah.
range. Like you
Yeah.
need multiple multiple.
So we you have to I have to have someone like Jackson basically there as the ultimate right hand man to be able to basically almost be a step ahead of me to come in and I'll be like, hey, we want to do this. He's like, funny enough, we did this yesterday. Like, how about this version of what we were going to do? And I know we said we were going to do this, but we also have this alternate version because it's like what the script says, but then the director will be like, ah, give me alternates, So it's like, give me a different vision. We give our different spin on it. So and play to the strengths, this our strengths. Whereas, obviously like with something like John Wick's and like Jackson having doubled Keanu and having a very good flavor for what the John Wick universe fight wise is.
Vibe
Yeah.
is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys do such an incredible job. And this time you're tackling Jackson, you're training Ana de Arma, who's done No Time
Hmm.
to Die before this, and then but this time it's a
Hmm.
whole different kind of action. Like there's this John Wick style that everyone knows and loves. So what was your sort of process approaching? Because you have doubled Keanu, you're very familiar with these fight scenes. What was your kind of
Hmm.
approach training her to become this sort of raw agent? I mean, this raw assassin versus the seasoned veteran that Keanu's John Wick is.
So creating the character first is the important thing, and then we find out like the fighting style of that character, and then so I know that her and Keanu were close. They've worked on multiple movies together, and I'm pretty sure they had a meeting before this all started. And I think, I think what she said, that he goes, "Are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to jump on this train?" And because it's such a long process, and we have to go to her at the beginning and go, "Listen, if you want it," and Keanu obviously it's been in the news, it's been in press and all that stuff, how much he's trained in for these movies, that signing on to something like this isn't just a name. Does that make sense? So
Hmm.
she's gonna go in and we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna bust
She
that
has to put in the
like we're
hard
gonna
yards. Yeah, there are actors that'll just
yeah
show up
you're
and the
gonna get
double will do
this
everything,
is
but
yeah this is gonna be like your shining moment, and we're gonna make sure it's your shining moment, and we're gonna get you ready for your shining moment. So you have to work for that shining moment, and then and go head on. And she just jumped in the water, man. It was awesome.
short of getting hit by
So
cars and falling off buildings, like uh the actors really do what the
yeah.
stunt guys do. They train, they come in like Keanu comes in and starts training at, like 7 a.m. in the morning. He's
Hmm.
there till past midday. He's doing everything the fight guys will do, you know,
Yep.
and everything the weapons guys
And
will do.
and
He's
so is
there.
she.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, she's
I
incredible
think
in the movie, and
Yeah.
I think he gave her some words of wisdom to say, and
Yeah.
then she
She came
took
in
it,
eager and ready,
and
and because not every
yep.
actor wants to do it, but she came in like threw herself into it, and, you know,
Mhm.
committed 100%, which makes our job easier, you know, because then
Yeah. Fact.
we can shoot her longer. You can stay on shots. You can do more complex fight sequences. It's fantastic when you get actors like that that want to do that.
Mhm.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Mm,
it was just so cool seeing all the behind the scenes footage that was being released leading up to the release. And so
mm.
Mhm.
when you're dealing with a lot of ballistic, and you're dealing with this very unique fight sequence that we hadn't seen in previous film. So Steven, so what sort of the unique challenges that flamethrower sequence present? Because there's a lot of choreography, there's a lot of like live I guess pyrotechnics involved. So what was kind
Yeah.
of
Mhm.
that sort of prep, and what was the choreography and compared to the previous?
I mean, we were very lucky with that Chad understands what it. Firstly, Chad is all about doing things practically. Like as a director, not every director is into that because fire can be intimidating and something like that can be intimidating. So we had like obviously Chad and the studio wanted to do it. So they gave us the time and the resources to be able to do it. We brought out Jason
Jason.
Domenico and the Action Factory team, who is the premier. He just won a
Emmy.
technical Oscar this year. He won an Oscar, a technical Oscar for
Oscar.
in
Sorry.
sciences, yeah, for his development of fire gel and things like that. So they gave us the team. Any sequence like that, the team that you have, your base layer of that pyramid determines how much you can do. So we had fantastic guys. We were using local guys that were very willing. We trained them up, and we had a fantastic special effects team that developed those three different styles of flamethrowers for us. One was an IPA gun, a liquid like isopropyl alcohol, and then we had a gas version, and then we had a bee pollen, lycopodium, which is like a pollen. So we had three different styles to work with through that
Mhm.
sequence, but they gave us the time and resources to be able to start with just testing the guns and getting the actors and the performers familiar with it, and then start to burn people, and then having that time allowed us to do longer and closer burns. So it's all about the time, which not every studio is willing or director is willing to give us these days because they don't understand the process. So that again, and having actors that were willing to do it and performers that were willing to do it allowed us to push the boundaries of that. I think the closest burn we did 109 full body burns in 8 days. And the closest burn we had was the full flamethrower 8 feet away from Jason that we were doing that. And that's no
Crawling on the
joke of a
street.
distance,
Yeah.
yeah, crawling through and everything like that. So it allowed us to really expand what we could do.
Yeah, it's so freaking cool, man.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep you guys too long,
That's
but there's
okay.
also I wrote down, sorry about that, but there's this one. I think the word I wrote down was grenade foo. You have the grenade because I would assume there's a lot of fight choreography mixed with the practical. I think because I talked to Len last week, and he was talking about how you had to time all the explosions. So how did that sequence sort of materialize, and what's the sort of handoff between the both of you since Steven's handling more of the explosives, whereas Jackson's handling more of the fight choreography, and that's that whole sequence in the
Jackson,
in
you want to start with this one?
Wait, I'm so sorry. Say that one
Yeah.
more time.
what's sort of what was the process of choreographing that sequence where Anna's dealing with all the explosives, getting all the timings right, and then the handoff between you and Steven between where you're doing the fight choreography and he's doing sort of more of the explosives.
With the grenades or the
Yeah, with the grenades.
with the
Grenade
grenades?
launch, the grenade sequence,
That
yeah.
was yeah, that was more kind of we kind of just went moment heavy with that. We're like, what's going to be memorable? The in between like action moments are kind of like here and there. Um, Obviously we wanted to do something cool, but it was more about the moments of like here, put it in his mouth, smash it. Like people are going to remember that stuff, and then putting it in his backpack, kicking him down the stairs, like that kind of stuff. If that makes
Mm.
sense.
You
Mm.
can choreograph the scene in two ways. You do it linearly, like you
Hmm.
go through the whole fight, or like with that one, it was like, what's cool? What can we do? You know, like
Yeah.
Jackson was like, what can we do? So we came up with those snippets because the whole idea was it's different rooms. Okay, well, we can do different sections in different fights. And as we're going, I obviously like work very close. Like I'm, you know, it's not like we're in separate departments where I'm with the fight team every day. I'm just jumping out to things and everything like. So we're coming.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, we're going to do this. Hey, we came up with this cool thing. Like punch you in the mouth, but we want to do it all in one shot. And if you look, it doesn't cut away. We had to design a wall that gave away. So when he gets in the mouth and everything,
Right.
that's a real explosion. He disappears through a wall. She's holding the door that I tested. I remember standing there the first time going,
Mhm.
all right, let's see how this goes. And that door, and then she opens and goes through the wall slides away and everything like that. So it's kind of one of those underappreciated shots. That whole thing is just one shot, but you don't kind
Yeah.
of get an appreciation for it. And the team did, we like took all that footage, all those moments to Len. It was like, hey, let's piece this together into a sequence and see what we can
Mhm.
do. And then we just come up with a little bit of shoe leather in between. So, and
Yeah.
then obviously the editors do what they want with it and things like that. So it's very like a scene like that is very much a just you have to work very closely with every department and just and play with it. And that took several different iterations of playing with it and coming up with different sequences. Well, that let's do this. And and then obviously getting the time with her to be able to time it out so she's in the right place at the right time. So if an explosion is
Mhm.
going and the safety procedures involved, because obviously if you've got a performer behind a door, but then there's an explosion, there has to be a full safety protocols of okay, when he's at this spot, then we can blow it. If we don't see him here, you don't blow it. And we got someone with the special effects team, like I was standing next to the special effects team calling it and everything like that. So that there's never an element where something that can go wrong that could cause any problems to someone.
Awesome. I mean, it came out incredible. I can't even describe the feeling I was just watching that. But
We
thank you
make it
guys so
sound
much for
very, yeah, it's an exciting scene. We make it sound very like on the day, it's very like this is the numbers, this is how we do it. Like comes out awesome on screen, but the reality and the practicality of
The
of
R
what
and
we're
D, the
doing
R and
there,
D
yeah, it becomes
extensive.
very, all right, what are we blowing up today?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I've talked to Chad a few times, so I know how you guys operate. So it's always cool to talk to anyone from 8711. But thank you so much for your time. And Jackson, I have to say that stunt you did off the roof in John Wick 3 is still one of my favorite stunts in the entire franchise. So it's just I just watched Wick is Pain a few months ago and I was just like, God damn, this
Yeah.
I can't believe that's real. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.